A suicide bomber detonates an explosive device outside Turkey's Interior Ministry just hours before Parliament was scheduled to reopen.
Populist former Prime Minister Robert Fico and his leftist Smer party win Slovakia's parliamentary elections after campaigning on a pro-Russia message.
In Poland, hundreds of thousands of opposition supporters marched through Warsaw just 2 weeks before a crucial parliamentary election.
Federal employees and military personnel across the United States breathe a sigh of relief as the federal government narrowly avoids a shutdown. A suicide bomber detonated an explosive device outside Turkey's Interior Ministry in Ankara on Sunday morning, just hours before Parliament was scheduled to reopen after a summer recess. A second assailant was killed in a shootout with police. 2 officers were reportedly slightly injured during the attack. There was no immediate information on the assailants. Kurdish and far-left militant groups, as well as the so-called Islamic State, have carried out deadly attacks throughout the country in the past.
The death toll from a fire at a nightclub in southeastern Spain has risen to 13, local emergency services say, as rescue workers continue to search the debris for more victims. Firefighters were alerted early on Sunday morning to a blaze at a venue in the Atalayas district in the city of Murcia. They managed to put out the fire by 8 a.m, but ongoing search and rescue operations remain delicate, with the severely damaged building at risk of collapse. The mayor of Murcia has declared 3 days of mourning in memory of the victims. Populist former Prime Minister Robert Fico and his leftist Smer party have won Slovakia's parliamentary elections in what's widely seen as a victory for Vladimir Putin. After a campaign based on a pro-Russia, anti-American message, Smer led with 22.9%, the Slovak Statistics Office said on Sunday, after counting more than 99.9% of the vote. Fico's main rival, Michal Simica, whose Progressive Slovakia party was a distant second at 18%, said Fico's win is bad news for the country and would be even worse if Smer manages to form a government. The country of 5.5 million people has been a staunch supporter of Ukraine since Russia's invasion last year, donating weapons and opening its borders to refugees fleeing the war. Fico opposes EU sanctions on Russia and wants to block Ukraine from joining NATO.
Hundreds of thousands of opposition supporters marched through Warsaw on Sunday, just 2 weeks before a crucial parliamentary election. Opposition leader Donald Tusk, who was once the European Council president, is trying to get rid of the controversial nationalist government that's been eroding the rule of law. After it was found to be limiting the independence of its judges, the EU has been fining Poland €500,000 every day. The ruling Law and Justice Party has also interfered with state media to ensure it mostly promotes the government's views. And it's promoted populist policies, such as demanding Germany pay reparations for atrocities committed in World War II. Recent surveys suggest the opposition's electoral alliance is a few percentage points behind Law and Justice. But Donald Tusk says he thinks the wider opposition could defeat the ruling party and form a government, and at the start of the march he greeted leaders of the centrist Third Way party.
A sigh of relief for millions of federal employees and military personnel in the US as the federal government narrowly avoided a shutdown.
There will be no government shutdown.
With a vote of 88 to 9, Senate gave the green light to a 45-day funding package which will keep federal agencies open until mid-November.
Good afternoon, everyone. The American people have won. The extreme MAGA Republicans have lost.
In 45 days, we should get our work all done.
The package was pitched by Republican House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, who abruptly abandoned demands for steep spending cuts which had held up negotiations. The package drops aid to Ukraine, a White House priority opposed by a growing number of Republicans, but increases federal disaster assistance by €16 billion.